Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Record Service Betsy Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Buffaloes head coach Betsy Shaw. Coach, how are we doing this week?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm assuming you're doing well. Looking at the schedule that we've got to talk about now, picked up 2 wins since the last time we sat down. A 52-30 win against Happy Valley and a 54-45 win over Johnson County. 2 big wins, of course, 2 conference wins, also 2 road conference wins. We always talk about how important it is to get those on the road. Swept Happy Valley and then got back with the loss that you took at home against Johnson County earlier in the year. So take me through both of those games and how you got both wins.
Happy Valley, we started slow. I mean, at halftime, I think we were up 8 points. It's sloppy and slow at the beginning. We kind of got going better in the second half. We had a bunch of people that played and contributed in the win. It was a good win. You know, anytime it's a conference win, it's a good win. And then Johnson County, we led the entire game, but in the third quarter, twice they got it within a point. It was a good game too, but we had I had played 9 different people.
In the Johnson County game?
And every one of them that played got at least 1 rebound. We shot, I think, 12% from the three-point line. Yeah, we couldn't make any three-pointers, but they rebounded, so we got a lot of second-chance opportunities. Everyone rebounded. It wasn't just 1 or 2. I know our 3 leading scorers were Morgan and Joey and Peyton. Peyton had a really good night for us. She knocked down a ton of shots. We tried pressing. It was okay. It was okay. We got a couple of turnovers out of it. But mainly our defense held up well, and we knocked down shots, not threes, 2-pointers and free throws. We did a lot better on our free throws, a whole lot better. I think it was 50% we shot. Still not great for free throws.
Still not great, but better from the previous outing.
A lot better. So all the little things that, and everybody came in, contributed. Everyone got at least 1 rebound. That's huge for us.
Yeah.
We were really trying to get better at rebounding. And we didn't have near the turnovers we had the first time against them either. So it was a lot better.
That was the one thing that I was going to lead into next. As you talk about that Johnson County loss, you've only got 2 conference losses this year. You're 5-2 at the moment, one of those being Johnson County here at home. And we think back to that game, and you talked about how fourth quarter free throws were the issue in that game. And shooting 50%, of course, not great.
No.
But it did just enough to be able to get you to the win. Talk about kind of how much more of a relief you felt whenever you saw some of those free throws be able to fall in that game.
I thought they were going to go in when they stepped up to the line, but I thought that last game too. So, I always think they're going to make them. They make them in practice, so I don't ever, we stalled at the end. So we did last time. We stalled again. I told them we had to make the free throws when it started, and they did this time. So I have confidence in them shooting every time.
Do you know off the top of your head how many fourth quarter free throws you did have this time?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Because I know from the last time you told me that it was, I don't want to say the number, but it was an outstanding number of missed free throws from the last game compared to this game where you were able to correct that, ended up winning by 9 points, which I think was around that mark, and it bumps you up to 5-2 in the conference now. The good news is with 2 wins now and with something else that happened, I believe, on Friday night with Hampton beating Chucky Doak, that now gives you all a 3-way tie for first place. Now, I think we had talked about a 3-way tie for first place before, and then we're still in that situation now. Chucky Doak, Hampton, West Greene, all at the top at 5-2. At this very moment, with 3 games left, 7 games through, tied for first, how do you feel right now?
I was about to say the way I felt last week. We still have a ton of basketball left.
We do.
I mean, we play South Greene, which is, tomorrow, which is going to be super tough. And then we're going to have to play Chucky Doak on Tuesday. Then we play Hampton on Friday. So we've got a bunch of games coming up, very important games coming up. So 1 game at a time. People are number 1 focus South Greene.
Yeah.
We've got to play well to beat them. So we've got to be ready to play. So.
And I know we'll talk about 2 games up ahead on the back half of this interview, but you have a tough schedule remaining. Because you look at the schedule you have left, you're tied at first place with Hampton and Chucky Doak. You still have both teams left on your schedule. And then creeping right behind you in a tie for 5th place or 4th place, you have South Greene and Johnson County. You still have South Greene left to go. And 2 of those games against the top teams, Chucky Doak and Hampton, are both on the road too. So I think you can pretty much say you probably have the toughest schedule left out of all conference teams, but you still have the opportunity to have that number 1 spot at the end of the season because the ball's in your court to where even though you are tied for first place, if you were able to get a win over both of those teams, that knocks them below you where you can go without that split. So A lot of basketball left to be
Yeah.
played. I know there's a lot of scenarios with 3 games left. It's not like there's 2 games left. And we could talk about if this happens and then this. You've got 3 where so much can happen. But like you said, you've got South Greene ahead of you next.
Yeah.
You got them on Friday night. So we'll move forward and talk about that in just a minute. But as always, need to get a word in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back in just a minute to talk about that game here on Grassroots Media.
At Terry's Flooring, we have quality products along with quality installers that can make your space look better than ever before. The craftsmanship that our installers bring to the job site is unmatched. Along with the great installers, we have a huge selection of hardwood, LVP, tile, and carpet. We know that spending money isn't that easy, but at Terry's Flooring, we care about your money too. Stop on in and see my Popsy at Terry's Flooring and allow him to save you money while enjoying the hassle-free experience.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee. For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone's Record Service Betsy Shaw Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we cover everything on the court with the West Greene Lady Buffaloes basketball team. As always, joined here with West Greene's head coach, Betsy Shaw. So you got a lot of games coming up. There was a stretch like this earlier in the season where we talked about 4 games in 5 days, but you didn't play those 4 games in 5 days because I think the Unaka game on that Monday got postponed. But it doesn't look like we've got any snow in the forecast this time. So it looks as if you'll be playing 4 games in 5 days with South Greene on Friday, Hancock County on Saturday, Cherokee on Monday, Chucky Doak on Tuesday. The first 3 of those, South Greene, Hancock, and Cherokee, all at home Friday, Saturday, Monday, not Sunday, and then at Chucky Doak on Tuesday. So big stretch ahead of you before you go into that closing stretch with Cosby and Hampton. So take me through these 4 games and what you think you can expect.
We'll start with South Greene since they're tomorrow. Tough game.
Big game, yeah.
Yeah, big game. It's a tough game. They play so hard and physical, and he does so many different things defensively. Just to be prepared for that. All they do, and they out-rebounded us offensively on the offensive boards, and so we've got to do a better job of boxing out. So they beat us in that category. So we've got to do better at that. And at the end, we didn't take care of the ball very well. We had several turnovers at the end, so to do better at that, just be prepared for it. It's going to be a tough game. And then Saturday we play Hancock here, which is senior night.
I wanted to mention that. We'll mention them in a minute, though, but go ahead and talk about Hancock.
I've just got one. I could talk about her.
That's true. You're right.
I can talk about her the rest of the show. And then Monday is Cherokee. So we're going to have to slow down Lawson player. She's really good. She's a very skilled player. We made that shot Peyton made that shot at the end last time we played them. And then big one on Tuesday against Chucky Doak. So it's be prepared for them. We started slow last time we played them. It was awful. We started so slow. So we're going to have to start better and hopefully finish better than we did last time.
We talked about the conference on the first half of this where there's so many scenarios left. By the time we sit down next time, we'll have 1 game left. So each week that we sit down for an interview, things kind of get more clear in the whole scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things. But looking at things now, you've got South Greene, Chucky Doak, Hampton. You've probably got the hardest stretch left on your schedule out of any team in the conference, as we talked about. The good news is there's good and bad. Of course, the bad news is you've got to go to Chucky Doak and to Hampton, the two teams you're tied with at first. The good news is, though, you get South Greene at home on Friday. Big matchup against the team that you beat earlier this year for the first time in a long time, and you know they're going to be hungry coming for that one. But we kind of talked about it in the scenarios and such. If you beat South Greene, then you would lock up no less than that third seed going into the district tournament. So I know you're taking games one game at a time, one step at a time, but for the South Greene game, what you can kind of look at the moment, of course, you still have first place on your mind if you win each game, but to beat South Greene, you would finish, I think, no lower than third.
Would be good. It's, people talk about, well, last time we played, when we played South Greene, we beat them.
Yeah.
No one cares about that game. I mean, that game's over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fun, good we won, but, that game is over. So we've got to be ready to play tomorrow night. We watched film, and I showed them the film of the offensive rebounds they got. I said, if we would not have knocked down the shots, we would have. All those offensive boards, they got, it was good we beat them. It was a great team win. It's not that, but, that's in the past. We've got to do what we need to do tomorrow night. That's what's now, so.
And then on Saturday, you've got Hancock County. Wasn't originally senior night, but Clinch ended up canceling, so that does make Saturday senior night against Hancock County. You have one senior, but like you said, you could talk the rest of the show about her, so I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to allow you to do that for the rest of the show. Talk about her. I know it's probably tough to even talk about and think about, but I usually ask you to speak about how much each senior means to the program over the time that they've played here, and I don't know if you have enough time in the day to talk about how much she's meant to the program, so you've got the floor.
I could spend forever talking about her points or rebounds or assists or steals because she does it all for us on the court. But, she is a great leader for us. When you watch us play, who our leader is. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows who our leader is. She's a great person. West Greene's so lucky that we've been able to have her for 4 years. If she could redshirt, I would see if I could talk her into redshirt. If that was a thing for a high school athlete, she does so much for us. It's not just the points. She's on the court talking constantly to those younger girls and trying to encourage them and try to help them out with anything that, they can do and talking to make sure everything's taken care of in the locker room. I hope the younger girls now look up to her and can see what the standard is for what it means to be a captain on the team and a leader because she exemplifies it all. It's sad. It's going to be really sad when she leaves because she's a great, ball player, but she's also a great person. And the team is so lucky that we've had her for the past 4 years. So I could talk forever about it. It's sad.
Sometimes you look at players and you can tell that not only are they great leaders and they mean more to a program than what people actually realize, but you talk about a player that kind of shifts and changes the culture around a program too. That's, I think, the type of player and the type of person she is around the program because when she took over the program last year, because you had 3 seniors last year, but I think she was the only starter that returned last year off of that group of 7 seniors when she was a sophomore. So she stepped into that leadership role kind of early as a sophomore a little bit and then definitely as a junior and a senior now. And seeing the way that she's kind of developed the culture in the program with those younger girls because – we think back to last year's team. You brought back 2 players that I think had played any varsity time last year.
Yeah.
And the whole entire team was either JV or were 8th grade the year before. So to see how much that they've developed off of her leadership and the way that she's changed the culture, I think speaks volumes about the type of player that she's been to West Greene also.
It's just standards different now thanks to her. People use the words change the culture all the time for people, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Look back at our records before she became, a lot of things you can look at, but things have changed thanks to her. And hopefully it carries on because of, the standards she has set as a leader and our captain. So we're so lucky to have her here. So I'm lucky I've got to coach her for 4 years too. So. And
just looking at everything she's done, even since she stepped here as a freshman too, just all the things she's accomplished going from bottom of the conference to now top of the conference with 3 games left. We're talking about winning the regular season and potentially going in to the district tournament with a bye into the region tournament. So everything that she's done here, of course, we could sit down and continue to talk and give her her own show just of all the accomplishments she's had. But she's still got time left. That's the good thing. Even though it's senior night and you're sad, you still got to look forward and think she's got one more postseason left to make a difference. And she could make a difference in one more South Greene game, potentially one more. You don't know how the district tournament's going to go. But on Friday night, you've got South Greene here at home. That's the most important thing at the moment. Of course, they'll be seeing this before then. So if you are watching this and you still have time, make it down to West Greene. Watch the South Greene game. It's going to be packed. It always is packed when the Rebels and Buffaloes take the court. So if you do plan on coming, plan accordingly. Show up early, or you might be sitting on the wrong side with the wrong fan base. So show up early, Coach. That's all I've got for you this week. Thank you once again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Malone's Wrecker Service Betsy Shaw Show, presented by Critters Corner. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.